This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name is Atty. Welcome to our program. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just seen the episode in the last 5 days, the power of the church. The Pope has come and he has left and no untoward incident has come. What behooves me is how his power, his significance, his presence, how he brings the people out onto the streets to wave of them, to give them the sign of the cross, and the people to come out in the rain, braving the heat and the rain and the cold, to hear Mass, to listen to what he says. I mean, the Pope was more than just a superstar. It must have been a humbling experience for the President and his omnipotent cabinet to be out there, to see the people come out without having to ask them to come out, without having to give them food, money, and even transportation. To come out in the millions. I can just imagine how the INC felt, or the other religious groups, or even Brother Mike. I mean, while they can command 1 million, 2 million, here comes the Catholics, 6 million at a time, under the rain, in the cold, with their children, sitting there, walking into the place, in order, for some funny reason, because we didn't see that the week before with the Nazarene, for some funny reason, tama nga naman, salamat sa malalasakit, naglabasan ng taong bayan. Ang hindi ko lang maintindihan, what I really can't figure out, like the Spanish times, for 380 years, a handful of Spaniards came and controlled, 15, 20 million people? The population of our country then? How many dynasts and oligarchs are in this country? They're basically those who have the mandates from the people, whichever way they got it. The point is, how can they keep all these people subjugated into what they are being called, the poor? After all, my son asked me during lunch today, Dad, what government services are they giving? You shouldn't pay taxes. He's right. What government service? The people, we have 2.3 trillion and so much more in the underground economy, but we can't seem to get things right. Whatever government service, you name it. These are called the current events that keep unfolding. It must have been a really humbling experience for this guy who sits with his yellow army thinking he can control these people. I can only give this message to the yellow army. Beware. The silent majority is definitely the majority. If you don't believe it was not TV magic, that was not TV magic. That was real. The people were out there. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss real issues with us, not deception. We have a columnist. You've met him before on this show, and you know of him. We have Rick Ramos, who is a regular columnist for the Manila Times, who incidentally by today seems to be the most notorious, infamous newspaper in the country today that goes out and without fear or favor, di natatakot miski kanino at sasabihin ko anuman ang totoo. We also have Attorney Manny Luna. You've heard him here before. He was the crusader together with Butch Bellica, and still is, but on his own, together with his son, trods on. He keeps on going. And he finds a lot of issues which we will discuss today. But before we go into the very issues, even attorney, no, yung final mo na kailangan maintindihan ng taong bayan.
Yes.
Rick, ikaw, how would you summarize the visit of the Pope?
Well, for one, it shows that the Philippines is the bastion of the Catholic faith in Asia. We're 80 million Catholics out of 100 million Catholics. And what happened was that we showed our faith during the Pope's visit. You have people lining up not only for hours, like for the Sunday Mass, people actually came in even one day ahead. So you can see, their faith, the perseverance to see the Pope as the vicar of Christ. That means as the representative of Christ. And as I wrote in my column, people who saw the Pope could really feel his presence of blessings. They felt, goosebumps. And also, there's that inexplicable joy in them. So, this is really a phenomenon. And even, when Pope John Paul II went here in 1995, I remember even my own wife had a similar experience, just seeing the Pope even from a distance. So, you have the Pope that's for
Did
real.
You say own wife or old wife?
My own wife.
Go ahead, continue. How about the show of force of the Catholic faith? I mean, malaki na yung arena ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Di ba? Yung 100th year nila, nabigla tayo lahat sa dami nila. Nakikita natin kay Brother Mike, maski kay Jesus is Lord, kay Villanueva. Pero yung paglabas ng mga Katoliko, ibang klase. Talagang talamak. Talagang, there is no other example or force of power, and yet for some reason, hindi natin matranslate sa bot. Kumbaga, RHB lang, paano nangyari yun? Kung sinabi ng simbahan, sinabi ng Santo Papa pa, di ba? Huwag natin ituloy ang RHB. Tinuloy. Ngayon, binigyan pa ng premyo yung lumaban, the victor of the RHB, si Garing, binigyan na siya ng posisyon, di ba? Pasalamat ang presidente. Isn't this a show of force that is all-encompassing in this country? Muslims, are you kidding? You're a minority. Brother Mike, you're a minority. You're all a minority in this country compared to the... kayo, attorney.
Yeah, well...
Katoliko kayo, I assume.
Yes, I'm a Roman Catholic
We all are.
believer.
So I guess we're biased.
Yes.
But good. Our country is majority Catholic. So
For about 4 or 5 days, I was glued on TV because I had a little cold. I was not able to attend any of the masses. However, I was moved and I was stunned by what I saw on TV.
ibang klase,
And
no?
that's on TV. It's not even the actual thing. To me, words are not enough to describe the spontaneous reaction and assemblage of people of all ages,
Ibang klase.
walks of life,
Nakakatindig ng buhok,
persuasions. My hair practically got
Yes.
raised up during those times, and yet I was not there. So you can just imagine those people who were actually on site, how they felt.
The estimates at a minimum 6 million.
Yeah.
Yes,
6 to
yes.
7
6 to
million.
7. How is this even possible? Well, ikaw, attorney, you have been a crusader. Rick here is the same way, without fear. He writes what he sees and hears of truth,
Yeah.
even after your investigative journalism. You actually dig deep to find out all these little truths to expose. Why is it? It behooves me why these people, because they have the numbers. Bakit natatalo tayo ng mga oligarkiya at mga dinastiya at manloloko sa taong bayan at ang mga serbisyo para sa taong bayan, kinukulang-kulang kung if not wala. Paano? How come we can take it?
It's really a strange thing. It's a mystery. But I think what happened recently with the visit of the Pope is a wake-up call.
So, iba na.
baka nag-iba yung
So matatakot na
ng
ngayon ng Yellow Army.
parang the mindset has changed. And this is the thing that we have been waiting for a long time. For the people to be moved, to be inspired, and to be empowered, and to go back to the streets and express their deepest sentiments and what they really want for this country. Because times, well, we must admit, times are really difficult. And government has failed us.
Yes.
And so, the people, in so many ways than one, can express this in a way probably not of the same degree as they did with the visit of the Pope, but somehow in a very strong way that government would not be able to resist and to deceive them anymore.
Well, what did you think of the President's weird speech? Inatake pa simbahan. Sa harap ng power ng simbahan, sinabihan pa siya na pinaglalaroan pa yung pagkakalbo niya. Totoo naman eh.
I think that was very petty for a president to even mention that in a speech in front of the Pope with regards to his hair. I think that's very immature. It's puerile and pathetic. Those things should not even be mentioned about his hair. And also, of course, what he said with regards to the Catholic clergy is not true, that many of them are now silent. That is not true. On the abuses of the Arroyo administration, because during that 9.5 years, the bishops, particularly as a whole with the Catholic Bishops' Conference, they have issued statements
Lumaban yan eh.
against the abuses of the former administration. In the same manner that, even during the time of even President Ramos, even Cardinal Sin was very much outspoken.
Well, Cardinal Sin took down the dictatorship. It wasn't Cory. Let's not be misled, people.
Yes, yeah.
Diba? It was the church who took down Marcos.
Yeah. So it's not true. It is unfortunate that the president has to speak of a lie, prevarication, if you will, of that thing. And I hope that the Catholic Bishops' Conference will speak out now that the Pope has left. So they can tell them, because these are facts. They spoke out during the time. So what the president is saying, is either selective perception or is an outright lie, which he knows is not even true.
So the deception continues, but the people so far, we are hoping now that the Pope is gone, that we will begin to act like he said. It's not enough in mind, when he was referring to the internet, the intelligence, as in not to be a museum of thought, to think of the information that goes around, to work it out through your heart and through your hands, meaning action, obviously. We're going to have to take a short break, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we will go right into the other current issues, the current events that are actually taking place that you may not even be knowing about. Now, a lot of rumors are going around. One of them, of course, is, will Estrada still be there after January 25? Let's leave that under what we call rule of law. Let's stay with the concept of rule of law. In this next part, the second portion, we'll talk about another issue that has just struck the country. And believe me, this is not being derailed, sidelined. You just need to know more about what's going on. We'll be right back.